I am His Royal Highness Oba Ojagunmi Oluwambe JP, the Ogoloyinbo of Ayetooro community and the spiritual head, Holy Apostles Church, Ayetooro, in Ilaje local government of Ondo State. Ayetooro community was founded 1947, January 12th, by a group of apostles who preached against the killing of twins in the riverine areas of Ondo State and some part of Delta States. They came to this land in the middle of the night when they heard the voice of the prophets who said the Lord asked them to move to a virgin land and form a Christian community where they could serve God in unity, love, and peace. Fast forward to 10 years after they came here, they built an Eldorado, a place of peace and of unity where they practice absolute Christian communism. Every member of the community worked for the community and the community provided for all their needs, even built houses for all adult inhabitants. Everything was free under the leadership of one man, one God. Only one church, even till as we speak. This is the brief historical background of the community. And it became so industrialized that it was the most industrialized town in the whole of West Africa. It is on the Guinness Book of Records and all other records. They had electricity in 1954, only after Ibadan was the only one that had electricity before the community. And the electricity was powered by the community, not by the national grid. So with that electricity, there was an industrial evolution of huge investments in industries. Soap factory, shoe factory, tailoring company. They had fishing vessels that were called trawlers in large numbers that were going to the deep sea to catch big fish, streams that they were exporting to other countries. They had a fishing terminal and a coal room that could store the excess produce from the sea. They had bakery, they have textile industry, they have shoe factory. They were exporting shoe to all other places and countries. But sometime in the 80s, we observed a gradual depletion of our coastal line. And this period coincided with the period that oil exploration started in this part of Ondo State. The first casualty of this oil exploration and sea incursion, incidentally, was this building, the ancestral palace, where all the kings of Ayetooro have reigned and lived. Built and commissioned 1960, the activity sank a whole floor of this building. You will see that when you are coming in, we had to make another step onto the first floor because this thing is already under the water. So the community started making appeal to government for environmental assessment and to come and see what we are experiencing so that proactive steps will be taken to stop the sea incursion. All of this fell on deaf ears until the incursion became a devastation. They started destroying buildings, started destroying farms and so many other beautiful things we had along the beach. They awarded contracts when they saw that the devastation was really serious to a company called Gallet Nigeria Limited. That was around about 2003. They awarded a contract for 1.6 billion or thereabout. Till we speak, we did not see the contractor, we did not see the engineer, we did not see any equipment, nothing was done. The encroachment continued. We have lost over 5 kilometers of our coastal land. And these are not just lands, bare lands or virgin lands. They are lands where people's houses used to be. Right now, we have lost more than 2/3 of the residential buildings and industrial sites of the community. It has reached a point where our appeal is not just an appeal, but a save our soul appeal. When nothing was done by the first contractor that got the job, years later, 2009, another contract was awarded for 6.6 6.5 billion naira so that they can do embankments and land or soil reclamation. And the contract was awarded to a company called Dredging Atlantic. They were mobilized. This time around, they came to site. They brought some equipment. They said their design suggested to them that they could use a technology called geotube. When we saw those equipment, based on our native knowledge of people who have lived by the sea all our lives, we told them that the raging surge of this Atlantic Ocean is beyond the power of the so-called geotube. The geotube was just pieces of tubes that they wanted to lay along the coast so that when the Atlantic wave is coming, it will slam against the tube instead of slamming against the soil or the mud, because our terrain here is not sandy, it's muddy. We told them it will not work. They said that is what they believe was the best. So they laid their geotube to some part of the community, and within 2 weeks, the sea had pushed off the shore and had destroyed all the geotube. And these geotube were said to have been imported from Holland. We wouldn't know. So after the failure of the geotube technology to curb the sea incursion, they embarked on looking for sand that they would reclaim land that had been lost by sand filling. So they laid some pipes to some locations in other communities where they said they saw sand. Comes a few sand, not bigger than the size of this meeting hall, maybe 10 meter by maybe 40 meter heap of sand, which is nothing compared to the volume of what they were supposed to pump to reclaim the vast land that had been lost. And at that point, they said they no longer had access to sand, that they were looking for sand. So from that period onwards, the workers left, they abandoned some equipment, and that was it about the last award. Since then, nothing tangible has been done. Though we will have to appreciate the state government, NEMA, and some NDDC and some other NGOs. Whenever it happens that we have this kind of ocean surge and people's homes are destroyed, people are rendered homeless, they bring palliatives, they bring relief materials, foodstuffs, beddings, buckets, clothes, and some other items. We receive these things periodically over the years, and we appreciate. But the core of our demand is that there should be an embankment. And this embankment is that heavy stones or heavy objects that has the strength to withstand the wave will be lined along the coast of Ayetooro community, so that when the wave is coming from the deep shore, this embankment will be like a stopper, a wave stopper. When it stops this wave, behind the embankment, then they can now pump sand or even pump mud. If they cannot get mud, they can get, if they cannot get sand, they can get mud. This is our demand, and it is a serious situation that we find ourselves. Right now, luckily, we are having a bi-weekly Council of Elders meeting where we discuss problems and prospects of the community, where we settle disputes and other matters arising in the community. You will be surprised that the bulk of all the time that we have spent, or we always spend, is on about this sea incursion, about people that are displaced, how we can get them accommodation, how we can get them some support. It's about how to relocate people. That's what we've been discussing since morning. So the situation in Ayetooro community now is serious, is catastrophic. People have been rendered homeless in their own community. They have become refugees. The palace here has been receiving guests, elders whose houses have been destroyed. All the rooms, all the places that are not even supposed to be rooms have been partitioned to accommodate people. It is a serious challenge, and we call on the state government, on the federal government. We have a lot of hope in the new government that was just sworn in yesterday. And through this medium of the press, we know our voices can be heard. We call on the agencies of the government who mandate involves taking care of the need of the oil producing area. Ayetooro is a foremost oil producing communities. We have lots of oil companies doing oil exploration. If you go to the top of the building, you'll be able to see some oil rigs. If it is in the evening, you will see gas flaring. They are there in the deep ocean of our community, taking our oil, and the effect of this oil coupled with climate change is what has brought this devastation. So it is part of their social responsibility to, in conjunction with the government and relevant agencies, the oil company should also be part of a movement that will save the community. So we cry onto even the international community to come to our aid. The labor of the heroes that built a community like this, the social, cultural, and the spiritual uniqueness of a community like this must not be wiped away. It is a place people have come to study, a unique way of life of people living in peace and harmony under one leadership. The same leader that controls the community also controls the church. It's a place, even till now, we do everything together in love and in unity. It is a land God promised and gave to our Father. So we, as heirs who have inherited this place from our Father, we have to do our best to retain and to promote and to protect the legacy. So we make passionate appeal to the state government, the federal government, the government agencies at the state level, SOPADEC, at the federal level, NDDC. These are bodies that are responsible to take care of the Niger Delta communities when they have environmental disasters. We call on NEMA, we call on the World Bank and other African Development Bank, all of them, to come to our aid to help us salvage these lands. Thank you.